Yo, what is up guys? I'm bringing you a brand new video, and this time we're talking about the optimal Berserker skill tree priority. I'm going to teach you guys what you should be focusing on in your skill tree and leveling up first when you have a limited amount of skill points for both PvE and for PvP. We're going to start off by focusing on a brand new Berserker, say you just started the game, and we're also going to focus on just the PvE for now, seeing as you can't really PvP that effectively on Berserker until you get your awakening anyway. So we're basically going to ignore the first 5 of these skills, in fact maybe even 6 if you include the auto attack, and you don't really need to ever use Fierce Strike, so I would just lock that. And going all the way down, you should also lock Weakling Hunt, Falling Rock, and Tackling Rock. And yeah, you're not going to be needing those abilities anytime soon, so just lock those up first and foremost. Now, before level 10, your PvE is going to be reliant on Elastic Force. You're going to hit WLMB and slash maybe 5 or 6 times, but you're not going to want to slash until the final hit. This is a really slow ability at the end, and it doesn't do very much damage. So basically, your PvE is going to look a lot like this. You're going to shake off to get a little bit of distance, do this, shake off, and this is how you're going to kill mobs primarily as a brand new Berserker. Once you get to level 10, you can then go all the way down here to your Lava Piercer and level this up, and that's going to give you a little bit more mobility, but your PvE is not going to change. You're still going to use Lava Piercer only just for getting between packs, but otherwise you're just going to hit WLMB, Lava Piercer, WLMB, and then you can also use Shake Off to get a little bit of distance. But yeah, this is what your PvE is going to look like when you're level 10. And that doesn't really change until level 37, to be quite honest with you. There's not a lot of really good stuff that is going to out damage your Elastic Force. And level 37 is going to change your style a lot because of the ability Ultimate Evasion. And hopefully at that point, at level 37, you also have a good amount of skill points where you can start leveling up your Raging Thunder a little bit. And also leveling up your Frenzy Destroyer a little bit as well. And so now you actually have access to a little bit more mobility. Instead of just Lava Piercer and Shake Off, you can now do what's known as the Crab Walk, which is WRMB F Shift D. And that's where that evasion comes in. So the Crab Walk is WRMB F Shift D, and you can basically chain this together in order to move practically infinitely. It's not going to use very much stamina. You can Lava Piercer, go right back into it, and this is going to allow you to move around a lot better. But your PvE, the way that it's changed is you can now use that Ultimate Evasion after Frenzied Destroyers. So let's say that you're killing a pack of mobs all along this area. If you're at Polys, you then do S, LMB, RMB, and you hit Shift A in order to get a little cancel between each hit, and allows you to move around, and that Frenzied Destroyer has a big AoE. You can also just hit LMB, RMB to spin through the packs as well, but that is about a 15-second cooldown or something like that. So typically your PvE is going to look just like this, and then maybe you Lava Piercer to the next pack. You can hit F, Frenzy Destroyer, your spin's back, you spin, but that's going to be your standard PvE. If you have spare skill points, the thing that I recommend leveling up is going to be your Lava Piercer, because it's going to make you go a little bit further, as well as your Shake Off is going to give you less stamina risk consumption, so that's going to be super nice, as well as your Seizing Fear. And you're also going to want to level up your Raging Thunder as high as you can as you get higher levels. And Storming Beast is another good one to level up if you have spare skill points, but I wouldn't focus on it. I would get your Seizing Fear up as high as you can before doing that. And so basically by the time you hit 56, your skill tree should look something like this. You should have your Frenzy Destroyer pretty much maxed out except for the Absolute version, which comes a little later. You should have your Raging Thunder pretty much maxed out except for the last level. Your heals, if you need it, you can level up Beast Roar and Wrath the Beast, but these are optional only if you think that you require them in order to, stay healthy. But otherwise, these 2 heals are just pretty much to get you a little bit of HP back. These are locked, your Storming Beast is maxed, your Shake Off and Lava Piercer are maxed, and your Seizing Fear is maxed. You can also put in some to your Infinite Mastery if you really have spare skill points, but it's not going to be a big priority. That's only if you feel like you need it for the survivability of wherever you're PvEing at. Now, let's say you hit 56. Here's what happens when you hit 56. You're going to unlock your Awakening. And you're going to want to get, in this order, you're going to want to get your ground lifting, you're going to want to get your general disarray, you're going to want to get slugfest, giant leap, devastation, and flamebuster. And your flamebuster, you're going to want to put it on your number 1 hotkey, just like so. So have that on your number 1 hotkey. So once you've got all these things, here's how your PvE has now changed. So you can use your general disarray. Typically, you're going to want to lock that. You can use it on your number 5 key is my preference, but you can put it on whatever you want. But it's a ability that shoots you forward and has a pretty big AoE. And so that's good for clearing packs and mobs. You're going to be able to now Lava Piercer and hit general disarray, ground lifting in order to get in from pre-awakening to awakening. And then you can also use your Slugfest, which is Shift LMB, as well as SRMB to kill mobs. And you can also move between packs now with your WF. And maybe at this time, you consider locking some of these BSRs so that you don't accidentally use them. But yeah, basically, you can now get between packs like this. Maybe you do a Slugfest, kill that pack, Lava Piercer, ground lifting, general disarray, devastation. If you need to, you can then, go into your pre-awakening and do a little bit of your spin. And then by then, you're able to, continue moving on. You got your Slugfest back. You got your ground lifting, your general disarray. But that's what your PV is now going to look like when you have your awakening. And pretty much for PvE side of things, all you really want to focus on is just leveling up these abilities these awakening abilities like ground lifting, devastation, leveling up your blasting eventually, but not right away. But yeah, just level these up as you can with whatever skill points that you can. You're eventually going to want to max out your main PvE damaging abilities, which is going to be the ground lifting and devastation. And then eventually you can get blasting, which is going to help with filler. So that's if you ever really don't know what to do or you don't feel like swapping to pre-awakening. Blasting is another ability that can finish off some mobs. It has a cooldown, but it can be used off cooldown or on cooldown, and it's just not a big deal. One more thing I want to teach you guys about being brand new in Awakening is this also unlocks the ability to shake off cancel. So if you hold W and hit RMB and then your 1 key, it'll cancel the shake off animation right away, which will allow you to do it again. So you can basically do this. And that's really helpful for getting between pack to pack. If you don't want to use Lava Piercer or if it's not available or whatever, you basically hit W, RMB1, 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 and you just chain that as fast as you can. And that's about it for that. Now, let's continue on. If you still have skill points, you really just need to fill out your Awakening tree. And so that's going to include getting Earth Divide. It's going to include leveling up your Flamebuster, getting your Ancient Power as well. Shooting mobility is not super important, so I would just leave that for now. But level up your Giant Leap, level up your Jump Sequence, so now you can have a second when you hit forward F, you can then jump twice. And you're also going to want to get your Seismic Blast as soon as you hit level 59. Because Seismic Blast is a game changer. It's going to allow you to do a lot of big damage with only a very short 6-second cooldown. So it's really, really nice for damage. Titan Blow is a little bit of an investment. If you still have extra skill points, you can start slowly leveling this, but it's really the Ancient Wave and the Split Shot that you get at level 57 and level 60. That is super worthwhile, but the damage of this ability does scale off Titan Blow, so you are eventually going to want to max that out so that you can have access to Ancient Wave, which is Shift back RMB, so you can do Ancient Wave and then Split Shot as part of your PV combo. But yeah, you basically max this out, and hell, maybe throw in Shooting Mobility there. And that's really all you got to do for PvE. I wouldn't worry about your core. It requires 50 points, and that's pretty expensive for what it offers. Once this is maxed out, we're going to go back into our main skill, and now we're going to start filling out some of our other things that we definitely are going to want to get here. So you're going to want to finish off your Absolute Frenzy Destroyer. You're going to want to finish off your Absolute Raging Thunder. And now that you're fully in your Awakening tree, you're going to want to consider your skill enhancements. So if you need the heal, you can level up your Beast Roar to level 3, which will unlock your Wailing Beast. It really is just another heal, and that's all that's for. So that's not something that I would prioritize. But what I would prioritize is I would prioritize getting yourself Furl Rage. This is another really good PvE ability, and it's going to require Tackling Rock level 3 and Wrath of Beast level 3. So you're going to want to go to your Tackling Rock, and you're going to want to get that to level 3. And then it also requires Wrath of Beast level 3, so that is your heal. And we will level that up. And this is going to allow you to have Furl Rage, which is another really great PvE ability. And that is going to allow you to use another spin with a bigger AoE. And this is extremely useful for when you run out of awakening skills to use. So let's say you're going like this, you're doing some Slugfest, General Disarray, you go Devastation, and then, you know, you're moving to the next pack. It's a really good ability to have available when you've run out of abilities, so then you just hit your hotkey, spin a little bit, kill that pack, move on to the next one, and then by then your awakening ability should be back up. So it's a really good ability for that, just to sort of fill up the damage. At this point in time, there's nothing really else you need for very basic PvE. Like, you pretty much landed on everything you need for basic PvE. And we've only used about a little over 1,400 skill points. You can of course level up your Skilled Hunter. But this is all you really need for basic PvE. You've got your Raging Thunder, you got your Frenzied Destroyer, you got your full Awakening kit. You're pretty much ready to do endgame grind spots with only about, 1,450 skill points. So let's start focusing now on if you want to start PvPing a little bit more. If you want to PvP a little bit more, you're definitely going to want to focus on leveling up some of your grabs, I would say, is next. Particularly getting yourself Undertaker level 3. It's going to allow you to cancel your E-grab to the left or the right. So it's going to allow you to hit W or your E and then LMBA. And so that's going to be super helpful. And then getting your, your grab up to as high as you can is also very, very good because it's going to give you a little extra damage on it, and that's always a good thing. So you're going to want to get that Absolute. Absolute Undertaker is not important. You can get your Rock Smash up at this point. Absolute Rock Smash. Corpse Storm is not very useful, but I mean, I guess you can spec into it at least level 1 so that it's an option. And then scrolling down, you'll never use Fierce Strike. Your Predatory Hunt can be useful in PvP. It's sort of a super armor bound, which allows you to jump 4 times. It's also really good for fighting classes that do not have grabs. You could get your Beast Roar up now to level 3. You can get your ultimate ability up to level 3 and all the way to Absolute. And get your Ire of the Beast and Absolute Ire of the Beast. And this is really useful if you're ever backed up against a wall and you need to do a quick little heal with a frontal guard. And it also has a CC on the end, so it's pretty nice. And then I would also get Absolute Storming Beast. And that is really it when it comes to the pre-awakening tree for initial PvP. At that point, you're going to have spent 1,900 plus skill points, which is pretty expensive. And the only thing you're really missing at this point is going to be your Headbutt, primarily. Headbutt is a great ability that is going to basically give you 15% accuracy rate on your melee. And so getting Absolute is really nice for that melee accuracy plus 15%. I believe at level 4 here, you also get it at 15%, but may as well have the extra damage. And so that way there, when you do this ability, you're going to get a lot of accuracy for fighting evasion memers. And let's see here. What else can we get? At this point, you're kind of done. I don't think you need Ultimate Headbutt. Forward arm B after evasion. Yeah, I don't think you need Ultimate Headbutt. You're never going to need that. Oscar, Beastly Wind Slash. So like, I guess if you're really at this point need to spend some skill points, Beastly Wind Slash will be the very last thing. And you're going to want to have Flow Windstorm, Ultimate, and you don't really need Extreme, I don't think. But basically what this is going to allow you to do is when you're doing your little crab walk, you can then throw in an SRMB. And, well, actually, it looks like you do need Extreme. So it's going to allow you to do an SRMB. And then that also gives you the movement speed plus 20%. So that can be a good way to boost up your movement speed before a Lava Piercer. So you just do this. And once your movement speed is about to run out, you throw in one of those. And then you Lava Piercer. So it is a pretty expensive skill tree to get all the way up to that. And then you may as well throw that in. And then very last, you throw in this. And then, of course, you can choose one of your cores if you want. I usually like ground lifting for large scale and PvE, and I use giant leap for 1v1s. But that's virtually a full skill tree. It requires 20 to 50 skill points, and there's no... Well, I guess you can get Absolute Corpse Storm as well, so I guess it costs about little over 2,300 skill points in order to fully fill out a Berserker skill tree. And that's going to be pretty much it. Just follow this guide if you want to know what to spend your skill points on as you get them, and you should be in pretty good shape. But I hope that this kind of helped you guys out as a new player, new Berserker, as what to prioritize. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/choice. Subscribe to my YouTube. I'm trying to get 10,000 subscribers, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace out, guys.